Well, welcome back there, folks. George here. Hope you all are still doing well. Well, we're back at it. We're here at the log yard, and we are loaded up with our logs, our diesel engines, and we are now headed to the lumber or the sawmill. So these logs that are on these engines here, that the engines are pulling rather, can be turned into some plywood. Yes. So nice little journey here back into town, and hope you enjoy this. Yep. And we're just waiting on the signal there. Yep, just turned green. There we go. I guess that means we're heading on down the track. And for the ones who are just joining in and you didn't get to see the lumber run part 1, I'll leave a link at the top here, it'll be down at the bottom there, and that's the first video of this, I guess a little series here, a couple series. And we show these engines. They're loaded with plywood, and they're heading to Industry Island, and these are fictional areas here in the Smoky Mountains there that I've created. Here's our engine interior in here. Looks pretty good. It looks really good. I really like how they detailed it. It looks good there. So we're rolling along there. There's two fellows back there in the background sawing on the trees there, and you can see the stumps all around here, and that's pretty much what you would definitely see when you go out into a logging area. Of course, where they've been cutting down the trees. Now there'll be these big old chippers or these machinery that'll come and rip these old stubs and stumps right out of the ground there, and make the forest look really good. And then they go back and they plant the trees, so it's just a natural thing to just keep reproducing the beauty of it. Try to keep the landscape the way it was, and try not to destroy as much of it as you can, to keep from destroying anything that, if you can make it better, that's good. So, but our engines are headed to Cherokee Valley. It's a little town just there on the edge of the Smoky Mountains there, and it's a little town where a lot of the tourists will come and they'll get aboard the train. There's a pretty good sized train station there, and you can come and get aboard, and it takes you up there to the Nantahala Mountain Resort. So, and that's another part of this series. I did a video on it, and I'll try to leave a link up there. I've got it on the playlist there, but you can see that. And as my character George portrays of living the life of the running around on the rails here. Now you can see here where the track split up. There's a lot of that. This mount area that I have designed still needs a lot of work, and as you can see, the tracks there that cars crossing over, there's no railroad crossings, any things like that. So I'm still working on that, but I made it to where if I wanted to run these trains, to up the mountain direction or whatever, so that the trains that I had on the line wouldn't so much run into each other depending on where they were going, because I have a bad habit of starting up a train and forgetting the other train is heading towards me. So, but look at this, isn't this nice? This is very well done. I just look at all these gauges and everything. I mean, they did an exceptional job on this, and this is just one of the engines that you can find on the download station. So if you're new to this game or haven't even played the game, it has a ton ton of things. I mean, there's just thousands of items that you can actually find on the download station, and you can create your own world. I usually tend to create the Smoky Mountain area. That's where I'm living. I'm in East Tennessee, and I said in the last video that in the Great Smoky Mountains, that's where there was a lot of logging going on in the early 1900s, and one of the old train engines, the Shea engine, is actually still it's on display in Townsend. I do have a video on that. If you want to take a look at that, I'll try to leave a link on that one too. And it's a beautiful engine. Its nickname is Dorothy, but it used to run logs just like these engines are doing right here, but it was a Shea engine, and they would take that engine up into the mountains and load it up with logs. Now they also had a passenger run through the Smoky Mountains. A lot of folks don't realize that, but there was. And if you've ever been to the Smoky Mountains, the Little River Road that runs from Gatlinburg to CADES-COVE, that used to be that road that passes Laurel Falls and Elkmont and all that. That was actually the actual railroad that that was where the tracks were. That road used to be railroad tracks. Yeah, and it's quite a drive too. If you've never been there, it's just beautiful. It just really is. And that's where I base my designing of this game on, is a lot of the areas of the Smoky Mountains there. And look at these cows there. They're just chilling on the side of the tracks there. They sure are. Sometimes they get out and break away from the fence and get on the tracks. That's never a good thing. So we're getting closer to our little town of the Cherokee Valley, and you'll get to see a little bit of it. But love going around the old countryside here and just seeing what I could put in. And of course, I used to love, as a kid, just go to the railroad tracks and just stand on the side and hope that I would find or see a train coming. And sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. There's a person on a horse there, just sitting there on a horse chilling there. And there's a animated horse. I don't know if you can see it there. Another horse there just looking at a train going by. I really enjoyed watching trains go by when I was younger, and still do today. It's like airplanes. I'm mesmerized by I guess the structure of them, and especially airplanes, how they fly. I just still don't understand how that's possible, but it's amazing when you see them like that. It really truly is. So we're now approaching Cherokee Valley, and it's a little area that I made up, and it's kind of like Bryson City, not exactly on the same, but if you look over up to the upper right there, you can see the turnaround for an area where the engines can go there from the train station up Cherokee Valley, and they can refuel, put coal there if they need to and whatnot. I do have a video on that one too, and I'll try to put a link and try to remember to put a link. But now these railroad crossings here, when you're putting railroad crossings in Trainz 19, my goodness, you got to remember what number and each track, each crossing has, and so it's definitely a challenge. It really is. But once you get it figured out and get them to work, it's a lot of fun to watch your train go by and activate the crossings. Even though the train's not even crossing the road here at this point, but that's okay. That's all right. Safety first, right? Now there's one little thing here I want to show you, the traffic lights here. Of course, we're coming into the town. This is Cherokee Valley here. And if you have ever played this game and you wondered about the traffic lights and how do they work and how can you get them to work and how can you get cars to actually stop, like this red one, let me tell you how difficult it is. It took me forever to find a video on this, and I'm going to do a video on this one day of just simply how to make a traffic light operate in trains. But this is one of the things that it's very challenging, but it's once you figure it out. Well, looky here, your cars are stopping, and see the traffic light changing, and once it changes, there they go. So this is a fine example of what happens if everything turns out pretty good. But this is a rare thing for me. I can tell you, you have no idea how long it took for me to figure this out. It was a long time, and I still have trouble with it. But hopefully I get around, I'm going to try to do a video on it. So if you want to know how to make your traffic lights operate with traffic, maybe it'll help you out. So, but there is videos out there, but it's very rare videos, and they're kind of old videos too. So I didn't find anything new. And we got some folks here on the side of the streets, as you would see, kind of just standing there watching the freight train and the log train go by. A lot of people will do that. Some people are, they're just, I don't know. Like this fellow right here, he's trying to figure out if he forgot something at the restaurant. But here we go. This is us coming through the town of little Cherokee Valley here. Up here, there's the policeman there, and there's our postal and our postal worker, and then this is our little mobile home park. This is me that was in one of my videos that I did. And I got my little dog there, Sissy, standing there. This is oh Lord, that van just ran over that person. I think the person's okay. Slow down there, buddy. But that's what I'm saying. There's all kind of things you can do and build in this town, or in this setting. That vehicle just ran right through the postal service there. And here's a fellow, he's watching the train and waiting for the mailman to hurry up and get that mail in that post office box, or his mailbox, so he can see if he got any good mail or some bad mail. And if there's anything like me, I always get bad mail or junk mail. There goes a train there going by there. And just love that. I just really do. Well, there it is in the distance there, them engines there bringing in logs. And this crossing right here, for some reason I had a difficult time with this. I don't know why. I don't know if I was putting the wrong number in, but finally got it to work in there. So, and turned out pretty good there. And I like how the cars will stop. I do a lot of Planet Coaster games, and one of the things that a lot of people complain about, and I'm one of them, is that there is a train in Planet Coaster, but if you design the train to go over a path where people are walking, the people do not stop. You know, they'll just walk right through the train, and it's for whatever reason they have designed it to where they don't. The people in Planet Coaster doesn't recognize that, so hopefully they get that fixed too. But that's for another video also. Well, here we are. Look at here. Here is the lumber yard, or the I guess the sawmill here, right outside of the Smoky Mountains. Here is what I call it, and this is where the train's going to pull in. Hopefully everything goes well, and unload the logs right there where the empty logs are, right there, that platform, and then proceed on to the other side of the tracks and load up all that lumber that the sawmill has produced for the plywood there. So, and then this day starts again, taking it back. So here we come into the area here, and this area here is still not complete. I had to redo a lot of this area. For whatever reason, the tracks were all mangled up and crooked up in here. It just looked horrible, and I couldn't ever get the trains to do what I wanted them to do. And there's another train in this area here, and it picks up the chips, the wood chips from the sawmill here, and takes it up to a chip place to dump it, you know. So, and that was another thing that was just so difficult for me to figure out, is how do I get this train to pick up the wood chips and dump the wood chips. But I finally got it figured out too. So, you know, if you work with it long enough on this, it'll things will finally come in place. And you can see that some of the trains going to go passing through some of these crossings, the railroad crossings. And this is where some of the track used to be, and some of the little roads that I had in here used to be, but I have yet to come back in here and place the little roads where I wanted them to be at. So, but that's all right. Now it's pulling up here, so let's hope, keep our fingers crossed, that this train will unload these logs like it's supposed to. And I had a hard time figuring this out. And another thing that you have to remember about these the cars, these logs, these cars can actually, well, look at there, it does work. How about that? There comes the other train in the distance there. If these cars, the wagons, if they're not, if you don't have the right product listed on there, it will not work with the say the industry that you want it to unload. Now this is the wood chips, where you would come and load the wood chips. Now this is another one here, and at this point it's supposed to slow up, stop, and fill up the cars with the wood chips. But it kind of just comes on down the track, and then it kind of fills it up. So I'm not sure what I did. I don't know. But in the end, it I think it fills up. It don't always fill up all cars, and it's probably the way I've got it set up too. Because you can go in and set up how much wood chips or how much wood that you want to have it distribute through each turn. See there, it just loads. It did a couple there, but that's all right. So now it's recognizing that the other train is on the other side of the tracks, from what I'm gathering. And so normally he would just back up and go back up, because the wood chip place where he unloads the wood chips is on the other direction. So, but we're doing pretty good here. Look here, it's unloading pretty good. So we have our little Alco engine here. It's got its little horn. You can definitely tell this horn when it blows there. This engine, what engine's coming towards you there. And so what it's doing right now, it looks like appears like it's going to pull up here, and then it's going to get past its signal, and then head on all the way up here, back up here, and this is where the wood chip unloader area is, where it'll be unloading all them wood chips there, or at least the 2 cars over there. And in this area though, it was so difficult to make. I don't know what happened here. I couldn't get the trains to do nothing and do right, and still have a little trouble here, but I figured a lot of it out. But yeah, there it goes. See. Yeah, she's heading back, and like I said, normally once this engine would pick up the wood chips, it would just go back in reverse and go back up to the wood chips there. So the the operation of this game sometimes works good, and it sometimes works better than my brain can fathom. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, well, why is it doing that? It's not, that other train is not on the same line, but yet it probably is recognizing that it is somehow, and probably is to true life of how these trains actually operate on the railroad. But I'm not an engineer. I just sure love watching the trains and how they operate there. But there he goes. He's backing up. He ain't wasting no time, and this engine here, these engines here, well, they're just unloading the logs slowly but surely, and you know, that's the way it needs to be. But I like how it unloads from the cars, from the wagons there, and then it'll appear on the platforms in the background there. I really enjoy that. So, but this is our lumber yard where the plywood is being produced, and I had more. I had like 3 others, or 2 others actually, out here that did the same product. I mean, it was the same thing. They just looked different, and each one of them had a character of their own. But I think that was one of the problems the trains were running into. I just had too much track and going to too many directions, and I couldn't remember which sawmill was which, and I tried to name them, and I had a mess. Now, just ahead up here, I found this little item on the download station, along with most everything else that I found. These gates, and you can see the little blue gate right there. It's starting to open, and I also had a little time with it, but it works pretty much the same as like your railroad crossings. You have to put a number in there, and it's got to be a different number, and then you have to put the closing arrows on each side. But once you get it figured out, it's interesting how it'll open and close. Now, when the train passes by, it'll close right back up. And now, why I put these gates here, I still don't understand what was in my mind thinking that they should be gates here, but I think it was just the fact that I found gates that actually work, and just actually we're going to see if they work. So that's the thing about the game. I love that if I see something that's interesting, and there's not a whole lot of instructions about it, I'll still try to figure out how to make it work. And there's been a lot of the little things in this game that you will see. You'll just come across crazy stuff. So it's pulling up to the wood chip unloader area. And this is another thing that if you ever work with us, see there, look at there, the wood chips, they just unload. And then in the background there, it's spraying out the wood chips, the dust, and eventually the dust, the wood chips pile up almost to the top of them poles right there. So that's pretty interesting. But if you don't have the right wood chips that matches up to this wood chip unloader, it won't work. So just remember that if you're ever doing this game and you want things to unload or you want things to work properly, just make sure your wagons or whatever product you have on there is matching up to your industry that you want it to unload at or load on. Because if you don't, because on these wagons, the flat wagons, or any wagon just about, or boxcar, you can have any kind of product in it. So you can have them to deliver McDonald's if you want. I mean, anything. There's so much that people have come up with that you can have loaded on. There's one video I did for the holidays, and somebody had designed like a Christmas sleigh, Santa's sleighs, and you'll see it in a video where they're just parked. The flat cars are parked, but they have Santa's sleighs on. I thought that's awesome, and it worked out pretty good in my little theme park of Frontierland there. And I've got videos. So you'll have to go to the playlist. Just go to the playlist and my playlist, and you'll see a lot of the train videos. Some of them I was still learning how to do all this stuff, so not the best quality videos, but hey, it's watchable. It's watchable. Now this engine is coming through the gate. The gate did open, and sometimes the gate doesn't open, but the train just goes right through it. So if that happens to you, it's okay. It's all right. It's still going to go through. It just kind of looks funny when it goes right through the gate. Now this part right here, I'm not real sure if this train or my other engine, my Alco engine, I'm not sure if the Alco engine is pulled back far enough for these two engines, for this engine rather, to pull up enough, because what it's doing right now, it's actually pulling up enough so it can switch tracks to go load up the lumber, if that makes sense. And it really, in honesty here, actuality, I guess you should say, it does not need to do that. It just needs to pull, in my mind, it just needs to pull the split part, like right over here. See, right now it should already be, not these split tracks, but there's another split track in front on up here. So in actuality, it should just go on, because it should just stop and just go. You can see the split track right up there at the bridge. It's already past that. So I don't know why the need to keep going. But that's one of the things you try to figure out, and you try to wonder, and especially if you don't know a whole lot about railroads. If you've never worked on a railroad, which I have never, I don't know what the regulations are and what the permissions are, because this game was built around the way the railroad actually works. So let's see if it's going to have enough. It's creeping up there closely to the Alco engine there, the wood chipper engine. And so I don't know. It may work and it may not. I don't know. There's the beautiful American flag in the background. America. Let's see. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? And the train will just stop. That's a good thing too. It won't collide if it can't figure out. But see, look at there. It did it. The IA it figured it out, so it started the train back. So isn't that something? Well, folks, we are coming to the end of this video here, and you can see our engine has slowed up and my sound is off, as you can see, but that's all right. Hopefully it's going to load up that lumber there, which I'm pretty sure it will, I think. But I sure appreciate you all watching my videos, and I appreciate your support. And I'm hoping to work on some more videos, either Trainz videos, or I'm going to do some live action Smoky Mountain. There it goes. There's loading that lumber. Some live action Smoky Mountain tours, different areas in the Smokies here. And yes, sir, there's a ton of videos about it, but my vision is always different than anybody else's, and everybody has their own way of expressing themselves in videos. And so I really enjoy getting out into nature and just kind of showing little things. I travel. I go to Pigeon-Forge, Gatlinburg area, the Smoky Mountains. The Smokies are right in my backyard, so I go there quite often. The weather's been pretty bad here lately, here as it is in other areas. Not as bad as Texas or Oklahoma, but it's been a lot of wet weather here. But as soon as the weather starts warming up a little bit, I'm going to be out there filming a lot more. So, but if you folks will, just hit the like button if you like the video. If you have not subscribed, if you will, go ahead and subscribe, because I'm telling you, you never know what kind of video I'm going to make up. I'm an old magician. I love train simulator games. This is Trainz-19. I like Transport Fever 2. I love Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, and they're working on, and I'm pretty sure they're working on Planet Coaster 2. Did I say Planet Coaster 2 just a minute ago? But anyway, I don't know. I keep looking for information on it. Nothing's been posted really, just speculation. But I think the detail and I think it's going to be great. But the Trainz video here, the Trainz-19 train railroad simulator here, I am just really can't wait till the next version comes out. I know it's going to be awesome. I know they are working on it. I haven't tried the the virtual, where you play against other players or with other players and all. I haven't done that yet, but I truly enjoy designing the railroads and different things around it. So we'll see how this goes. So folks, thank you again, and I hope all of you have a good rest of your week. Be very safe out there as possible, and as much as possible rather. And until the next video, you folks stay safe, and thanks for watching, and have a good rest of your day. This is George B. Gamer, signing out.